Good evening.
Good evening, Becky. Good evening, everyone. Like all good Toastmasters, we would like to start on time. My name is Joe Ido, your Program Quality Director and host for tonight's Team Building More Than a Buzzword Elective. This session is being recorded and will be uploaded to our District 56 YouTube channel. First, let's go over a few rules and protocols. We would love for this to be an interactive session. Feel free to leave your video on, but please mute your mic until you're ready to talk. Let's keep in mind our Toastmaster core values: integrity, respect, service, and excellence throughout the entire meeting. Without further ado, let's introduce your instructor. Roxanne Warden is an experienced Toastmaster, being involved with different clubs since 2007. In her tenure with Toastmasters, she has completed Advanced Communicator Gold and Advanced Leader Bronze. Roxanne is currently a member of NOV Innovators, president of Heights Toastmasters, the area director for 011, and is on the District 56 training team. Roxanne initially joined Toastmasters to practice slowing down her speech. Over the years, Toastmasters evolved with her to challenge her in different skills. She holds a bachelor's degree in international business with a minor in Spanish and a master's degree in management. Please help me welcome Advanced Communicator Gold, Advanced Leader Bronze, Roxanne Warden.
Gosh, I feel like a rock star with that kind of introduction coming from Joe. She always has such wonderful energy. Well, thank you so much for everybody spending your Monday evening with me to go over team building. I know that you will be excited just like I am. Hopefully, as Joe mentioned in the speech, I will not speak too fast because I get very excited on topics that I love. So I will try to control my enthusiasm and be at a nice pace. Let's make sure, and if I can get thumbs up, everybody can see my screen okay? Fabulous. Well, hello, I'm Roxanne, as Joe mentioned, and I just wanted to let you know why I'm doing this. Team building, when it comes to team building, I am the person at work that they call on whenever something needs to happen. When a team building event needs to go on, I'm the specialist that they call in. Team building can occur when we just need to boost morale. You've got new people who need to meet each other. We just need to have a special event. And somehow, some way, I got the reputation for having the kind of events that people like to attend. And it was solidified one time. I went to a completely different event that I didn't even organize. It was a 30-year celebration event for some of our employees, and I wanted to see how it was being done. I wanted to check out the venue, so I crashed the party. Well, as the president is giving his introduction and recognizing everybody that put it together, he said, and I'd really like to take the time to thank the ladies who put this together. He included my name as part of that list. I had nothing to do with it. That's how often I was involved with all the special events and the team building that he just automatically assumed that I was part of that program. So that's why I'm teaching team building tonight. It's not teaching, it's more about sharing is what I would like to say. So here's the game plan for tonight. We are going to talk about what are the benefits of team building. What are some ideas that we can share with each other? Because I bet you're wondering, gosh, right now, how do we do team building? Well, there's things that you can do live, there's things you can do virtually, and there's things that you can do as an icebreaker. And we can talk about all kinds of different ideas, and I would love afterwards for us to share what you all are having some experience with. So that's our plan for tonight. All right, let's just start with team. TEAM. Together, everyone achieves more. I think that just says it all, doesn't it? Oh, you know what? Again, I get so excited. I just go into presentation mode. I bet you're wondering why I'm wearing the hat. I'm wearing the Christmas hats because a few months ago, I was in a club officer training, and our hostess was the mostess for that particular training, was getting everybody involved by having hats. And we all put on different festive hats, and it was a way that we had fun during the meeting. And what she shared is, for her choosing a Santa Claus, it was a gift to be here today. Every day is not guaranteed. We never know when it might be our last. So today was a gift, but it was also a gift to have everybody on the line. It was a gift for me to share this information with you. And it's also going to be a gift when you guys interact and give that feedback. So that's why I'm sharing. I have my hat on for those of you who are wondering. Okay, let's go back to team. And on our TEAM, together everyone achieves more. It just kind of says it all. If you're one person trying to do everything, it's really, really tough. But when you've got a group together, it just makes things so much easier. So let me give you an example. How many of you have seen or heard of the documentary called The Last Dance about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls? Has anybody seen or heard about it? Well, I tell you, I had heard a lot about it, but I hadn't watched it. And then I decided I was going to cancel my Netflix because I was watching too much TV. And I realized, oh my gosh, the show is on there. Let me watch it before I cancel. I'm so glad I did, because it was a fabulous show. I highly recommend it. It really told the story of the Chicago Bulls and what happened in the background in regards to them as a team. So why I bring this up in this conversation is when they started talking about Michael Jordan when he first joined the Chicago Bulls back in '85. One of his coaches was Doug Collins, and they even say this in the trailers and in the video, is that this coach, because he saw that Jordan was an all-star player, he designed most of his plays to get the ball to Jordan. Just whatever they did, get it to Jordan, because he was the man that was going to make it happen. He was the all-star. He's got the hot hands, and everything revolved around Jordan. Well, that was great for Jordan because he got all this practice. He was able to win Rookie of the Year. He won the slam dunk competition. He won MVP. But what is that? It's all about me. Did the team have any kind of accomplishments? No, they didn't. It was all about him. And then some resentment started to occur because it was always going to him and they weren't sharing the ball across everybody else. When Phil Jackson came onto the scene in '89, he had a completely different style. He went from having the plays designed around Jordan to now we're going to have team play and we're actually going to share the ball and throw the ball and use each other's strengths instead of focusing on one person. Not only was this a relief for Jordan because he's no longer carrying the burden of this entire team, but now he's working his other skills and how to share and how to maneuver that ball with other people, and other people are getting play time as well. This team went on to excel. They won a total of 6 championships, 6, and it was all because of the team that they were able to build. So prior to the team atmosphere, it was all about one person, and that was great, but there was a lot of resentment. And then they moved into working together, and suddenly they're on the championship level. So, I mean, I think that really highlights the difference between an individual and a team on how much more that you can accomplish. Also, I want you to think about there's Toastmasters as a team, the club that you're in, whether you're an officer or not an officer, you're still part of a team. I am, as Joe mentioned, in a couple of different Toastmaster clubs, and the Heights Toastmasters, I'm one of the club officers and I'm the president. Back in June, our club was in danger of losing our charter. We had no participation. Now, in addition to COVID, we had also lost our location. So we were struggling just to even have a meeting or getting people to sign up. It took one person to say, hey, I will help get the word out. And then we started to build from there. I happen to be the lucky person that I can do it. I got some extra time on my hand. And I've been in Toastmasters for a while that I had an idea of what are some things that we can do. And slowly we started to rebuild, but it was not me. It was the team of everybody that is in that club. We went from having nobody on our roster till I was just bragging, we're officially at 8 and really close to being at 9. And really a lot of that just came from people sharing the information, but really our members being active. It was asking them, what do you as a member want to see in your club? How do you want to practice and be the best Toastmaster you can be? So we have completely changed our meeting formats and people are loving it. They're so engaged and they're coming more often than they used to. And again, that's just all part of a team. And it just makes me so excited that we've grown together as this community, but also as I see each person individually grow, it really does put a smile on my face. I had one member who did an evaluation the other night, and she said, do you know, when I did my first icebreaker, I did not know that I smacked my lips until it came out in the evaluation. And she said, after that first evaluation, I recorded myself and I watched myself, and sure enough, I smacked my lips. That was over a year ago. And we all started to chuckle. She doesn't smack her lips. We could not remember the last time that she did that. And it was all about just practice and evaluation. So together as a team, we are growing our club, but we're also growing collectively as individuals. So let's talk about the benefits of team building and teamwork. And motivation, and of course I've got examples for every one of these. When you incorporate team building and teamwork, it's really helpful from a motivation standpoint. So for example, one of the teams that I built, I was part of the learning and development group at my company, and we used to have a leadership development course. It was who were going to be the next executives for our company. And the way the course was structured, it was a 2-week program. And at the very beginning of the course on day 1, each person came up and did a presentation about this is who I am, and these are the things I hope to learn. And then at the very end of the course, they would do the exact same presentation. Okay, this is what I've learned throughout the course, and this is what I'm going to implement. It was all fine and great. The only problem is we had 20 people on each course. And on average, they had about 7 to 10 minutes for each presentation. And some people really liked the limelight because they were in front of the executives and wanted to stay just a tad longer. So these meetings would go on forever. While we love to hear each other, it can get really tedious and exhausting, and especially when I'm trying to book this into an executive's time. So what I did was I said, you know what, if we're trying to focus on executives and the future of our company, shouldn't we be focusing on teamwork instead of individuals, because they'll be working with a team? So I changed up the format of the program. So now instead of as individual people going through this course, they were now part of 4 distinct teams. And each team was a geographic area, and they were to act as a leadership team for their geographic area. So for example, they are the president, vice presidents, safety for North America or for Europe or wherever their location was. And then together at the end of the program, they would still do a presentation, but they would do it as a team, and they got 20 minutes. So we went from having 20 people doing about 10 minutes each of presentations to 4 presentations for about 20 minutes each, and it had realistic examples. What I found by changing that, not only was it highly effective from a productivity standpoint, but it really built the motivation and it built camaraderie around these these groups of people, and they built relationships that lasted after this training. In addition, they also did things like they made hats and they wore shirts so that at the end of their presentation or on their last day, they were able to wear them. And actually, that's what I wore today. And you can't see it, but I have a jersey on. And this is just I'm part of this team and I like to show it off, even when I'm not participating in this softball team. I still wear the round because I'm proud to be that part of that team. So there is a lot of motivation, which is a really big benefit to teams and team building. It also boosts morale. So different ways that it's going to boost morale is it just breaks things out of the ordinary. And you can do little things just by having a lunch. Let's get out of the office and go have a lunch together, or let's do a happy hour, whatever it may be. It just gets out and breaks the routine, lets you get to know each other a little bit better. So it can be a real morale booster. The other example that I have of this is one of the teams I was on for the HR team. Our boss wanted to recognize our team for all of the awesomeness that we have done. And he was worried that we were getting burned out with all of the work that we were doing. So he said, Roxanne, can you help me plan an event? So I created Party Like a Rock Star. And we had a party bus that picked up everybody from the office. We went to the Hard Rock Cafe. We had dinner. And after the dinner, the bus took us over to see Rock of Ages. We had so much fun. It was something completely different. And it celebrated that as a team, we've been working together and just really, he wanted to recognize us for being awesome. But then the music all brought us all together as well. So it was definitely a morale booster for everybody to help save from that burnout. Team building also helps with communication. So before you do any type of event or have an icebreaker or whatever it may be, you might not know the folks on your team, and therefore you don't really want to talk to them so much. For example, the team that I'm currently on at work, all of my team members are sales VPs. I'm the only non-VP. So I probably wouldn't normally talk to them if I wasn't on their team. But because we are on a team, I do talk to them. Our North America sales vice president is based in Oklahoma, and I hadn't spoken to him in a month. Now, it was normal that I hadn't seen him because of location, but now with COVID, it's just I hadn't seen or heard from him. I was just concerned, so I just gave him a call. I said, hi, just wanted to check on you. Is everything okay? Do you need any help? What's going on with the things that you're working on? I wouldn't have done that before, and it was just all about the team. And so it builds communication when you're implementing team building. Trust. Trust is a big thing. Now, how many of you have heard of the trust ball? How many of you have done a trust ball? So a trust ball, and let's see if I can show you without being cut off too much. A trust ball can be, you have two people, you have a partner, and so you'll just imagine there's somebody behind me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross my hands and lay stiff as I can. I'm going to fall back. And as I fall back, I'm trusting that my partner is going to catch me. Now, I don't know about you. As much as I love my team members, I don't think that they would catch me. I think they might actually think it's funny to let me see me fall. But there are other ways to develop trust. And it's because you have those shared experiences when you're doing team building. And one of the examples I think that we're actually going to do as a group tonight, you'll see what I mean when I say trust, because when you do something even as simple as an icebreaker, you know a little bit more about this person that you didn't know before. And so it builds this layer of trusting somebody else because you know them on a different level. The other thing is when it comes to events, you've seen this person, you've shared that experience, whether you've been at a karaoke bar or you were a part of doing laser tag. You're like, oh, remember that time? So you just build this trust because of all the experience that you're having. And finally, it's just a lot of fun. Team building events can be a ton of fun, or even just the icebreakers. They are It's just a fun way to get to know each other. So these are all of the benefits of team building. So let me turn it over to you all. Is there any other benefits that you all can think of, or have an example that you'd like to share of a benefit?
Well, letting the team members know that there is a team and it's not all on one person. It's not, you build a team to help each other.
Absolutely. Anybody else have an example of a benefit from teamwork and team building?
You use unused resources. What we did was we built a team of our VP of Education, a VP of Membership, and our VP of Public Relations, and formed a team called MET. And the reason being is because we're a corporate club and we have a limitation on the size of meeting rooms once we get post COVID-19, where we can only get 24 to 30 people in a room, we can't continue to grow. So we turn people over, but VP of Public Relations really doesn't have some place where she's trying to reach out to. We just say, let's use the resources we have together as a team to make us a better club, so that so much of it doesn't fall on just the VP of Education, who's probably one of the most important officers we have, but it's spread across the VP of Public Relations, VP of Membership, and VP of Education, working as a team to make it a better club. That's kind of what we did.
That is wonderful. That fits exactly. It highlights everything that we're talking about. It exemplifies what it is to work together as a team, but also, as you mentioned, the benefit of those different resources. So you're also using some creativity skills there as well. So there's so many different benefits to teams. I just picked the 5 that stood out the most to me, and they're most impactful in my terms. Becky, I see your hand up.
Yeah, a benefit is that not one person is doing all the work carrying the load. You equally share the burden. Like when you were talking about Michael Jordan, he carried the team. Without Michael, the team would have fallen apart. But when you have a team, if one person can't participate, then there's other people to pick up the slack and evenly distribute it. It's not just one person doing it all.
Absolutely. And on that note, I want to give a couple of shout outs. I see Tammy Rochester has joined the line. She is the secretary at Heights Toastmasters, and I would be lost without her. She is absolutely fabulous. She sends out birthday emails to people. She sends follows up. She participates. She's absolutely fabulous. So shout out to Tammy. Also shout out to Marcia. She helps out so much in Area O. Again, we'd be lost without her. And Joe, oh my gosh, Joe puts everything together. She helps coordinate everything. She helps get all those trainings on board. It's such a team. And there's just so much work from all of us. So I'm really thankful to know all of them and be in teams with them. Let's talk about some different ideas for teams. Okay, and I broke this up into 3 different sections for things that you can do live, which I know is a challenge right now, but I still wanted to bring it up to get those creative juices going, because sometimes you hear something and then your mind starts branching off into other stuff. So I wanted to talk about some of the live events. I also wanted to talk about some virtual ideas, and then also some icebreakers. So some of the live events that I've done that have been a lot of fun. And I know this sounds funny, but people love laser tag. And the first time I thought of laser tag for an event for team building, it was not my idea. I was just going along with what had been done before. Oh my gosh, adults absolutely love it. They're like kids in the candy store all over again. They're running from place to place in these laser tags. They've got sweat all over the place, and they're like, can we go again? Or I shot this person, or I shot this person. It's just a ton of fun. So believe it or not, laser tag is a lot of fun. Casino nights. Here's another thing that I noticed, that as I mentioned, I was doing laser tag, and it was this whole night where we did laser tag and we did some bowling, and then we did a little bit of pool. Basically, we rented out main events. And one of the competitions that I heard that was happening within the teams is because I'm in the oil industry, they wanted to see which team could have the biggest bar tab. And that was a really big deal for them. We were all safe because we all had a bus, and so we were able to get from one place to the other place with no problem, and safety was not an issue. But they just wanted to see who could have the biggest bar tab. Well, it's extremely expensive, even when oil is making money. So I changed up the event and I said, okay, instead of doing this, why don't we do a casino night at the hotel? That way they don't actually have to go anywhere. They can just go from their room down to the hotel, and I could share the costs among all the other groups that are also doing this. So my bill, it used to be a $2,000 to $3,000 bar tab and bill that I would pay for the event. It went down to, I kid you not, to $200 by creating this casino night. And everybody loved casino night because they had a time to have fun. It was something that they knew how to do, or if they didn't know how to do it, they were able to learn. And we were still able to have competition among the groups to see who could get the most tokens, or that get the most, because they were betting with chips. Of course, they were fake chips, but they were still betting. And the group that had the most chips won a trophy. And I would say that my team got trophy 2 times in a year. Very exciting about that. And I still have the trophies with me. So casino nights are a lot of fun, and adults especially really enjoy them. Piano bars are also a ton of fun. Anytime that you can incorporate music, I find that music is a way to, it's a way that people bond through music. And it's been proven, they've done some studies actually on this, on how music connects people together. And so piano bars are fun to do, but you have to be careful on which piano bar that you choose. I made the mistake of choosing Howl at the Moon one time. Now, I thought Howl at the Moon, like, oh, this will be fabulous. It's Halloween time. People will be dressed in costumes and we'll be singing show tunes. This will be a lot of fun for my team. Well, my team, this was a corporate team, a corporate professional HR team, going into Howl at the Moon. And Howl at the Moon actually turned out to be demographics, college students, getting very drunk, singing show tunes. Oh my gosh, it was one of the most embarrassing experiences. And I had our team, we had reserved tables right in the front next to the piano. So, of course, some of our people got called onto stage. And my heart broke for them because I knew it was just not a good experience. Again, in front of all of these college students making a fool out of themselves. So I learned my lesson. While music is good, Howl at the Moon maybe not the best idea for older professional people or middle-aged professional people. Instead, in Houston, I would highly recommend Pete's Piano Bar. It's a lot more appropriate and the demographics tend to fit in better. Another event was an improv show. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the TV show called Whose Line Is It? With Ryan Stiles and Colin Mockery. I love that show. It's so much fun. Basically, the audience yells out prompts and these actors act it out. You can actually rent out a comedy troupe that will come and do this for your event. And I did it once. We had so much fun. And it's not, oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the company anymore, but it was it was fabulous because not only was it fun, but there was no kind of obscene gestures, which might be offensive to people. But people got to get out of their comfort zone, be in front of people, and do silly things where they're like driving a bus or wearing silly hats or singing shit, different things. So it was just a lot of fun. And actually, this particular experience they did with the improv, it was one of the things that helped build trust for one of the teams, because like, oh, remember that time at the improv, this happened, because you'd seen the other people, so you had that shared experience. The other thing that you can do that's live is do a volunteer event. Can you go to a local food bank? Can you go to United Way? Can you help with Habitat for Humanity? Again, it's all about just sharing that experience with your team. So these are some examples of some live events that I've done and had, for the most part, positive experience with, the exception of Howl at the Moon. Okay, here's some virtual ideas for you. You can do a virtual escape room. Now, I've done an escape room in person. It wasn't at an official escape room. It was one that we did in the office, and we set up different clues along the way, but you can definitely do this online. Those are tons of fun because it's a way for your team to work on critical skills together to figure out what is the puzzle. You can also have a book club. And I know you're thinking, what book club? How is that team building? It absolutely is. What I tend to find, especially within Toastmasters, is we've got a lot of people who are bookworms. They love to read, are always looking for the next suggestion, recommendation. Well, if you're doing a book club, then again, you're sharing that experience together and talking about the book. So that's another example. It's one of the examples that I use in my club, or that one of the members brought up, and it's been fabulous. We're on our second book club tomorrow, so it'll be tons of fun to see how the conversation goes. You can also do some online scavenger hunts. So with the scavenger hunt, you can look for things. Who's got a hat? Who has a dog? Who has a squishy pillow? There's all kinds of different things that you can look for on a scavenger hunt that are virtual and at their home base. Who has a shot glass from the Hard Rock Cafe? All kinds of different things that you can do. You can also have learning workshops. Now, I think when most people hear learning workshops, they're thinking of some of the ones I've done with my club are more tailored to this because I use them as my guinea pigs to try to test out these classes. And one we recently had was on difficult conversations, but you can also do very different kinds of workshops. Maybe, and this is one I'm thinking about doing, how do you stretch your dollar right now? I was so excited because yesterday I got $15 in gift cards for doing silly stuff like driving around town or playing a video game. $15, that's a Christmas present for one of my nephews. That's a stocking stuffer. So that can be an entire workshop of how do you do these different things to get points or miles or whatever it is that you're trying to say. And it's that learning, again, you're sharing your information with everybody else, but also giving your teammates to share their knowledge. Or maybe they know a whole lot of history about the Renaissance period or Tudor history, and they can give an entire workshop about the history of Henry VIII. I mean, workshops can be all kinds of different things. Or maybe how do you craft a holiday wreath for your door? All kinds of different stuff. Another virtual idea that you can do for team building, because we all get a chuckle out of this, you can do a call bingo. How many times have you heard throughout the day, can you hear me? Do you see my screen? Oh, my internet. Oh, that's my dog. Wait, that's the lawnmower. So every time you hear one of these, you check off your bingo card, and whoever gets the bingo wins the prize. And it just makes us all chuckle because it makes us realize, again, we're all in this together. So those are some virtual ideas. Let's talk about some icebreakers. Icebreakers, you can use icebreakers at any time. You can use an icebreaker whether you're in person or you can do them online. And they're lots of fun, but you also find out about people, and they also help with the team. So one example is called What's the Difference? And the way that you play this is that you have one person who's a moderator, and everybody on the team sends the moderator a picture. It's either a baby picture or a picture of them from high school. And then you start to see, what's the difference? What was the difference between me in high school to who I am now? First, you got to guess who the person is. And then you got to talk about Are they still the same? Where have they grown? I would say back in high school, I was probably a lot more stubborn than I am now and getting better at it, but basically the same. But that's fun because you can see what we were like back in the day. A show and tell. We've been doing show and tells at the club officer meetings, and those are so much fun. So a show and tell, you just grab something that's sitting an arm's length away, and now you can see my Christmas troll. I love trolls. I got all kinds of little gadgets and knickknacks right next to me. So you just pull something off that's close to you and tell what it is. And why is it that you have it near you, or a story, or whatever it is that you want to share about your Christmas troll or the item that you have selected. It just shares a little bit about the person on your show and tell. You can also play two truths and a lie. Two truths is you tell people, you give three different statements, and then you have to have your audience determine which is the truth and which is the lie. So let me give you two truths and a lie, and you don't know in which order that they are in. And these are things about me, or maybe they're not about me. So here are my statements. I have met Al Pacino. I have had brain surgery. I have a cat. Which one of those do you think is a lie? It's funny because I can see Becky laughing already. You see, it's all about having fun in the team building. So I saw Becky say two. Okay, who else? Two, one. Okay, so the answer is I don't have a cat. I have two dogs. Yes, I have met Al Pacino, and I have pictures to prove it. And I've had brain surgery, which is a whole other topic on another speech. Basically, the moral of that story is make sure all your food is cooked all the way. Otherwise, it can lead to very bad food poisoning, which can result in brain surgery. So don't do that. But anyhow, two truths and a lie. You see, it's lots of fun, and I saw some giggles in there. So you can have fun with these icebreakers. Here's another one, the Finger Showdown. The way this works is everybody puts up their hand with their 5 fingers. And every time that I call off something that you've done, you put your finger down. I think if I was doing this at work, my coworkers would put all their fingers down except the middle one, because that's how they are. Okay, so I'm going to call out some random examples. And if you have done this, put your fingers down, put a finger down. So if you have adopted a pet since COVID has started, which is back in March, put a finger down. Oh, I see somebody put a finger down already. What? Okay. If you have learned how to cook a new meal during COVID, put a finger down. If you got sucked into watching Tiger King, put a finger down. I got sucked into that one, I will admit. If you can say thank you in 5 languages, put a finger down. I didn't realize I can do this until the other day, and I tested myself. I travel a lot, and the one thing I learned to say is thank you when I go to different places. If you have completed a path since COVID, put a finger down. Not yet. I'm really close though. If you are wearing sweatpants right now, put a finger down. If you have, okay, don't laugh at me on this one. If you've taken a shower today, put a finger down, because I can tell you I don't take a shower every day anymore. I have no more fingers up, so I win. Now I might have cheated a little bit because I had to have some notes here on what to use, but you can see that's an easy icebreaker to do and to find out what's going on with people right now. Okay, and I've got one more icebreaker, and this one, it's the one that I use for every meeting that I go to where I'm the facilitator and I really need to get to know my people And I want them to feel comfortable with each other, and I want them to build a layer of trust. So I'm going to ask everybody to participate in this one. You don't have to show your video, but when I call on you, please do unmute yourself and answer the question. We can do it like table topics. Don't go past 2 minutes, but you can be as short even as 10 seconds, okay? Basically, I just want you to answer this question. The first question that I want everybody to answer, and I'll call on you individually so you can think about it as I call on you. I want you to describe your favorite color. That will be question number 1. Question number 2 is to describe your favorite animal. Okay, so those are the 2 questions I'm going to ask everybody, and I'm going to go person by person and ask you to give your answers. I will go first so I can give you some time to think. If I am describing the color purple, purple I would say is bold, it's deep, it's majestic, it stands out, or it can stand out. It's soothing. I think of Purple Rain and I think of Prince. Those are the things I think of when I'm describing purple. So you can tell me, you can do just like I did and just say some words, or you can give a story or whatever it may be. So my color is purple. Now I'm going to describe my favorite animal. On most days, my favorite animal tends to be a lion. And I say on most days because sometimes I prefer a monkey to a lion, or sometimes I like a dog to a lion because I'm more of a dog person than a cat person, but I really resonate with lion. For me, lion, I'm a Leo, and so therefore I really like the lions. The other things that I like about lions is, or how I would describe a lion. I would describe a lion, they like to eat meat. They're out in the heat. They sleep a lot. They're ferocious. And they're part of a pack. And also I think of leader, because I think of the Lion King and leader of the pack and that type of thing. So those are my color and my animal. So purple and lion. So I'm going to call on Marcia. Marcia, can you please tell us your color and animal?
My color is vibrant. It stands out. You would not miss this color. So don't wear it in a bland group. You will outshow everyone. It's the color of wine. It's the color of lipstick, of blush. Some people have their hair this color. That's my color.
Okay, what is your color?
Red.
Red. And tell us about your favorite animal. Describe your favorite animal.
My favorite animal is one I can hold. So it's not a lion, but I'll have to rethink of having a lion as my favorite animal. But my favorite animal I can hold. It's fairly tiny. It can warm my feet on cold days if they get on my feet, which I hope they do. It purrs. Usually they don't eat very much, but my cat does. She doesn't like an empty bowl. She eats everything. So my favorite animal is a cat.
Thank you very much. Tammy, will you please share with us your favorite color and animal, or describe it. Be sure to unmute yourself. See, part of call bingo. Unmute. There you go.
My favorite color is pink. And I like pink because it's soft and it's kind of timid. And I remember being so timid and soft spoken and quiet, and it's feminine. You know, sometimes I don't have that feminine moment, but pink is feminine to me. I used to love to have my nails pink and lipstick pink. And the nail technician, she said, you always wear that pink. Why don't you try something different? So I actually tried something different. So she got me out of my pink comfort zone. And now, vice versa, as far as animal, my favorite animal is a jaguar. Now, the jaguar is quick and fast and untouchable. Now, I have that other side of me too, like, wow. Like the jaguar, untouchable. And one of my favorite movies is The Untouchables that just came on. So I'm kind of this side feminine and soft, and then this other side that can be loud and just go there and come out that comfort zone and quick and fast and surprise you like the jaguar.
Thank you, Tammy. And Becky, I see you next on my list of videos there. So Becky, please share with us.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking, and normally in business, I'm very decisive. I can make decisions very quickly. But when it comes to colors, when I was growing up, my mother said that my favorite color was red. So everything was red, as you can see. But as I've aged, I have a hard time picking one over another. So I love purples because they are very spiritually calming, but I love red because it's invigorating. I would say that my favorite color is the rainbow. Every color that exists in
I do that too.
the planet is my favorite color. It depends on my mood, depends on the day, depends on what I'm doing as to what my favorite color is. I'm rather much the same with animals. I love all animals.
Describe the rainbow for me.
Pardon?
Can you describe the rainbow for me?
Oh, the rainbow starts with blue and ends with indigo and violet. It goes the spectrum from blues to yellows to green, orange, red, purples. It just blends from one color to the next. There's no distinctive dark lines that segregate the colors. They just meld together to make beautiful conglomeration of color that is very pleasing to the eye.
Fabulous. And then you were telling us, starting with your favorite animal, to describe it.
Well, sort of like the rainbow, I like all animals, but I guess my favorite would be dog. They wag their tails. They talk to you. They're always happy to see you when you come home. They're brilliant animals. They will interact with you. Whereas I've had a cat here and there, and cats are really stuck up. I don't handle cats very well. You know, my cat used to get on my desk when I was busy and knock everything off because I wasn't paying attention to her. But my dog, Speedy, he's my favorite. He would come home and just wag his tail until his whole butt shook. And he was really smart. You could say, Speedy, you want a treat? And his little ears would go up and that tail would just start shaking. And I'd say, you want a bath? And those ears would go back and his tail would go between his leg and he'd slink off and he'd go, you want a treat? And the ears would pop up and the tail would start shaking. He was really smart. But my favorite animal is a dog.
Thank you so much for sharing, Becky. Roy, will you share with us describe your favorite color and your favorite animal?
My favorite color is Carolina sky blue. It's a different blue than you see anywhere else. And it sort of like accents everything. The mountains, the trees, even the clouds. It just gives it a different era to it all. And it's because the California sky blue is just so beautiful. You almost want to reach out and touch it, but you can't because it's up in the sky. My favorite animal is feral cats. Now that doesn't sound like much, but we live out in a rural area and they just showed up one day out of nowhere. And they started making all the critters that would wander in from the woods into our backyard go away, which was wonderful. And my wife sort of adopted them. When they have kittens, she names them, gives them all different names. And when I'm busy at work, my wife will call me, start telling me what the cats are up to. They did this today, did that today. And she's fallen in love with these critters. Even though they're still wild, one of them will come sit in her lap and let her pet it. And when she comes home at night, they're there lined up waiting for dinner, like they're part of the family wanting to eat. So there's something about them where they kind of adopt you, even though they're still wild, they're still doing their own thing. You just fall in love with them because they're so different and interesting, especially when you start naming them and watching how they interact with each other. Like you go through the various stages of life. It's just so much fun to just watch them. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Roy. Is it Doug or Douglas?
Either one.
Hi, Doug.
Hi.
Will you please share?
Certainly. From The Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. A child asks, "What is the grass?" Maybe it is the flag of my disposition, out of hopeful green stuff woven. So green is my favorite color. My favorite animal is the cat. I have 6 cats inside and 4 outside.
Wow.
So it better be the cat because I've got so many of them. Thank you.
Can you describe the cat for me?
We have 4 black cats, 1 white cat with sort of long hair, and 1 tabby cat. And then outside we have like a tiger gray and 3 black cats.
Awesome. Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome.
Annie, will you please share with us? Annie? I see your name. I don't see a video, so I don't know. I'm assuming you're on the line with us, Annie. Okay, Annie, I'll come back to you. How about Marlon?
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, great. Yes, so my favorite color would be blue. And blue is because of the sky. Whenever it's clear, it's nice and blue. And also it's the ocean, the blue ocean. And the reason why is because I feel it's relaxing, looking at the sky and also listening to the ocean. And my favorite animal would be a dog as well. I think someone already mentioned a dog. And I feel it's because they're loyal, they're simple, they can be silly at times, they listen, and they also defend. And when you come home, they greet you. So it's a really nice, warm feeling. And they're also man's best friend. So those are my 2 favorite things, the blue color and animal is a dog. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you for sharing. Okay, I'm so sorry if I butcher your name. Alumni? Alumed?
Olumide, good evening, everyone.
Alumed, thank you for telling me how to pronounce it. So tell us about your favorite color and animal.
All right, I'll try as much as possible to describe it because I think someone just did.
It's okay.
Somebody had a similar color with mine, so it will be a bit of repetition, right? So I would say that this is the color that you will encounter on a bright and sunny day when you look up the sky. And it also comprises of the United States flag. So my favorite color is blue. As for my favorite animal, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say I have a favorite animal because I've never owned any pet, but I've had encounters several times with dogs as against cats. So I really don't know how to describe. I really would not know how to describe that. So I just told you outright. I'd say I'm more tilted. I'm more tilted towards the cat. Sorry, towards the dog ally than the cat ally. So that's just it for the favorite animal part of it.
Okay. And there's no right or wrong answers. This is okay. And Annie, can you hear, or would you like to share? If you would, go ahead and unmute.
Annie said in the text in
Oh.
the chat that her microphone doesn't work, but her favorite color is blue and her favorite animal is a wolf.
Oh, interesting. Thank you so much, Becky. See, this part of the team. Zoom is not my favorite platform. I'm still learning it, so you won't always notice when there's a chat. So thank you so much for sharing Annie's information. And thank you, Annie, for participating. And last but definitely not least, Miss Jo, can you describe your favorite color and your favorite animal?
My favorite color, look in my eyes. Yes, they're red, white, and blue. So my favorite color is blue. As most have said on the call tonight, it represents the sky and the sea. It's freedom. It's open space. It's relaxation. My favorite animal, I have to say, will be a dog. I just adopted a dog during COVID.
I saw the finger go down on adopted a pet, yes.
And she is part Maltipoo and Chihuahua. Now, don't tell my birds that because you could hear them in the background. Well, the dog just kind of, greets you every day, no matter what kind of mood you're in. They're always in a good mood to see you. So I have to say a dog. Although I grew up with 5 older brothers, and I had every kind of critter you can imagine in that house. Thank you, Roxanne.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jill. Thank you, everybody, for participating in this icebreaker. So let me tell you what we've been answering. I learned this icebreaker way back in 1994 as a freshman in high school. And I think it was like a homeroom class or special studies class. These are actually psychology questions, and they just stuck with me that I use them everywhere. These psychology questions, when you describe your favorite color, you are actually describing people's perception of you. Okay, so I heard lots of blues. I heard some purples. What I heard with blue was it was relaxing. I heard the sea and the ocean. When I think of, or the sea and the ocean, the sky and the ocean, when I think of those, I think of very down to earth and very just friendly and calming and relaxing. I heard reds, I heard the bolds, and I heard decisiveness. So everybody has a different way of describing their favorite color. This is the perception of how people see you. I will tell you most days that my color, I say red, and I think of things like bright, bold, food. If you think of fast food, let's think about McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell. They all have red. I'm always eating. So people always see me eating. So the color is perception of you. When you describe your favorite animal, this is your perception of yourself. I heard a lot of dogs in there. They're loyal. They're man's best friends. They're always in a good mood. These are things that you're thinking about yourself. I said lion. And for me, one of the things I forgot to say, and I always say this, when I think of the lion, I think of the mane and the crazy hair. Okay, my brother still picks on me about my hair, my crazy mane. And I'm definitely a meat eater. We're always eating some kind of meat. It's just, and I'm lazy. I sleep a lot. Sleeping can be a hobby for me. So it's definitely how I see myself. So describing your favorite color and you're describing your favorite animal is a way for you to, one, get to know yourself, but two, a way to get to know each other. And what I have found with this particular icebreaker, this helps to build trust. And I always design my trainings or meetings with enough time to do this, because what I find is if I'm having a 3-day meeting, and we've done this at the beginning, people refer to the purple jaguar 3 days later, or a pink elephant, or whatever it may be, because they started from the very beginning and they start to associate, and then they start to have some common experiences. So this could be a lot of fun because you get to know each other and you get to know about yourself, and you're also building that trust among your team. Did you guys like that one? I hope so. It's my favorite one, and it's my go-to for everything. I'm really actually glad that we had a smaller group and we're able to do this one together today. So now I just want to turn the tables. Is there anything that anyone would like to share? Something that's really worked for you in regards to team building? Do you have an example? Roy mentioned earlier the way that his team is coming together, which was absolutely fabulous for those resources. Does anybody else want to share any examples of team building that has worked for you?
Unfortunately, I haven't had anything virtual, but I would like to start doing virtual team building with my officers. So
you'd have to let me know how those go, because we can definitely share that knowledge with each other. I think right now more than ever, it's so important for us to build and continue that teamwork, even though we are virtual.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any examples that they would like to share?
Roxanne, when you are live, or you could get together, one of the great ones that has worked in my company, well, I since retired, Top Golf. Everybody loves playing golf and going to the driving range and in that atmosphere, and I could hit it farther than you, and then when they miss the ball, it's so much fun.
That's a great idea. I didn't even think about that one. You see, that's what we're here for, to learn from each other and just get some different ideas. Okay, anyone else like to share any thoughts or questions or comments in general?
Oh, you mentioned virtual escape room. Is there a website on that? That would be.
There's tons of websites on that, but what I can do is I can follow up with the group and send out a couple of links. I have not used them yet, but I will. But I can definitely send some out to the group.
Okay, because I was thinking about going, taking my team to the escape room, but before COVID. So, okay, that would be great.
Yeah, I can definitely send out some resources to some links. Doug, I saw you go off mute. Did you have any thoughts, comments, or questions?
So one of the things that we do in team meetings that I have at work is we have a very similar structure, but we have different items. For instance, we'll have, towards the beginning, we'll have a survey question, and towards the end, we usually have a survey question. And usually they're sort of on the light side, like what's your favorite food? What's the best movie you've seen recently? Things like that. And then we also have different people demonstrate how to do a skill, and we have updates. So we have things that are sort of the same, but they're always varied because they're different people or different survey questions or things like that. And so the people that help me come up with the meetings, we try and think about different survey questions and what would be fun to do. So there's some participation there in that they get to help try and make the meeting more interesting.
On the survey questions, once you've gotten all the information, how does that work? Does somebody facilitate conversation on it, or do you call on people to share? Can you describe that a little bit more?
So sometimes we've used the application itself to send out a survey and have people respond. Usually, since there's somewhat ad hoc, we will just have maybe a PowerPoint screen with a question, and then people will just put responses in the chat.
Cool.
And my team will typically make comments and talk about it. So it's not too difficult to get them to interact because they all know each other.
That's a good idea. I like that one. Actually, I'm going to write that down because I might use that one. And I think I saw Becky go off mute a moment ago. Becky, was there anything that you wanted to share? No, you're good. Okay. Well, tonight we talked about what are the benefits of team building. We've had some different examples from things that you can do live, things you can do virtually, things that you can do as an icebreaker. We got to experience an icebreaker. I bet you from this day forward, you're always going to remember that Joe just recently adopted a Chihuahua, or a dog that is part Chihuahua, because she had the energy with it, is always there to greet you. And I bet that you're going to remember that Tammy, she's got two sides to her. She's very soft spoken, but she's also quick like a jaguar. So you're going to remember these things. I hope that these are some of the ones that you can use in your future club. With that kind of concludes our meeting for tonight on team building. We do have an evaluation. Like all Toastmasters, what are we here for? We like to get evaluation and give evaluation. So please do complete the evaluation. Let us know, did you like the topic? What went well? What could be improved? And if there's anything else that you would like to see, because we definitely want to have more of these types of classes. So we want to know, what are the things you would like to learn? And with that, I will turn it back over to Joe. Thank you very much. Thank you for the gift of being able to do this presentation with you all.
Well, thank you, Roxanne, for a number of reasons. One, you helped us all interact and feel part of a team right here. Thank you for that. Your knowledge off the charts. Thank you so much for your service to District 56, your willingness to step out of your comfort zone and put on this presentation. Thank you. You're great. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight.
Thank you for
your
putting it
time,
on.
Joe. This is wonderful having these opportunities to learn.
Yes,
Thank you, Becky.
thank you very much.
Good
Yeah.
night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Take care.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. See you later, Doug.
Tammy, my favorite person. Thanks